Hello, let me welcome you to our today's webinar that will be focused on planning with SAP Analytics Cloud. My name is Aleksandra Borucka. I am the moderator of today's webinar. By my side, your expert who will guide you through the main part of our webinar, Bartosz Woźniak. Our today's presentation is divided in two main parts. I will provide you with a short overview of our company, give you some important facts of what we do, who we are, and how we can support you. Then Bartosz will guide you through the main part about planning with SAP Analytics Cloud. SNP is a transformation company that was founded back in 1994 in Heidelberg. Over the years, we have grown to a company with currently over 1,250 people. A company that supported over 10,000 different transformation projects. Geographically, we are located on all major continents, which means that we have our delivery centers in Europe, both Americas, in Asia. We have recently also opened our new subsidiary in Australia. This is a big advantage for us because we can directly serve our customers over several time zones. For example, today's webinar, we are running from Poland. As our president of the board says, transformation never ends, which means that companies change as their business environment changes. There are also IT-driven or technical causes that may lead to transformation needs. We are a company that understands this, and our core business is transformation of SAP-centric IT environments. We support our customers in their daily transformation that are part of their business life. Currently, we have a lot of transformation projects related to SAP S/4HANA migration, and we do it our own way, so-called Bluefield way. SNP's Bluefield approach lets you merge, split, upgrade, and harmonize system in a single go-live project with automated data and business process testing. With Bluefield approach, you can simply automate your journey to S/4HANA. I could speak long about Bluefield, but this is rather topic for another webinar, as our focus today is planning with SAP Analytics Cloud. If you would like to find out more about Bluefield, please contact us. SNP Poland is one of the biggest companies implementing IT systems in Poland. Since 2017, we are part of SNP Group and carry out projects all over the world. Our offer is focused on three main areas. SNP SAP experts. We offer a full range of SAP services, implementation, development, maintenance. We have here 22 years of experience, the biggest team of specialists. The second area is SNP data centers. We are experts in the maintenance and development of IT environments. We provide IT outsourcing based on the double secure infrastructure of SNP data centers. And third area is SNP Software Factory, which means tailor-made software, IT staffing, team leasing, Java and .NET applications. We create innovative applications that support any business process. That would be it when it comes to the short introduction of SNP. Now I would hand over to Bartosz.
Hello, my name is Bartosz Woźniak. I'm the BI team lead in SNP Poland, and this is our today's agenda. So we will concentrate on SAP Analytics Cloud as a planning solution. I won't go into very basics when it comes to the solution itself, because we had previous webinars. It's not very common that we have system demo in the middle of the presentation, but during today's meeting we have it so, because it will be easier for you to understand what are comments, workflows and input tasks, and some restrictions or characteristics that we discovered within SAP Analytics Cloud. Just as a short beginning, we are the team of 10 BI developers located mainly in our headquarters in Poznan. But what I'm especially proud of, we were recently awarded by SAP with this SAP recognized expertise for data warehousing, which means that we have a special knowledge regarding this area, but we also have practical experience when it comes to analytics solution implementations. But let's start with SAP Analytics Cloud. Just one slide of short introduction. What business value of SAP Analytics Cloud? It's the first of all elasticity, so you can scale up or scale down quickly to meet computing demand. So if your reporting environment is growing, usually you should reconsider the sizing of the system and then buy additional licenses. Here, you do not need to bother about backend sizing, because with this additional subscription, you receive additional disk space. And about the CPUs or RAM memory, you do not need bother anyway, because in the contract it is stated that the solution needs to be performant, and you are not charged for the CPUs or RAM memory. The second business value is affordability, so there is no entry barrier at the very beginning. So if you want to start small, that's not a problem. You may buy a couple of subscriptions and you are ready to go. Usually you would consider to buy some backend and also consider how this backend will perform within a couple of years. Here you pay only for what you use, and this minimizes hardware and IT costs. Third business value is the availability. So you have round-the-clock availability and access for the system from anywhere on any device which has web browser and internet connection. Simplicity, it's releasing your internal resources from managing IT servers and updating softwares, because updates are done without customers' involvement. They happen previously it was every 2 weeks, now it happens, I believe, every 1 month. So it's this part of also innovation. So every new feature that is available as a general availability will also be available on within your environment. If you have already existing investments in BW warehouse or in business objects, it is not that you need to fully change your reporting environment. BW is still recommended as a backend for data preparation, but you also may reuse, for example, universes as a data source. So if there is already semantic layer embedded into universe, you do not need to recreate this, you can reuse it. SAP Analytics Cloud is very specific because it also has all analytical capabilities in one software as a service offering. So within one solution, one tool, you receive analytical application, planning applications, and also possibilities to predict. This increases the adoption of analytic tools, and you do not need to switch any windows or applications when you want change from analytical to planning, and it is also easier to use and maintain. If you have very strict security policy when it comes to data storage, there is no need to replicate data into SAP Analytics Cloud. but there, as you can see, there is a some restriction here. So for planning models, it is necessary to use imported data models. You do not need to replicate data for analytical solutions. So for simple reporting, you can use real-time scenarios referring to BW or to S4HANA or any other HANA database, or lastly, developed for Universe. And last business value is that you have broad content for line of business and also for industry. So if you don't know how to start, or you would like to see the best of breed when it comes to reporting scenarios or reporting layouts, you have a lot of free examples how to use it, how to do it. You may also use these templates to reconnect them, for example, to S4HANA, to your S4HANA, and then use it as a ready-to-go report. So our next step is a system demo. We have 4 scenarios covered here, so there are basics, so login and so on. But just right after that, we are trying to, we will adjust our plan, which is made as a sales by organization structure. A second scenario is we have a plan for sales by product, and we will compare our adjusted version with the official version. The third scenario is IT cost distribution to products. So we have indirect costs, overhead costs, which are not linked to products. We would like to distribute them to products according to the gross sales, just to be able to check every product profitability. And at the end, we will use sales planning by entity, which use one of the workflows possibilities. So that will be workflow-driven planning scenario. So as I said, you are able to reach your analytical system through web browser. You just need to use your email and password. You also may be logged automatically using single sign-on. And afterwards, you see some managerial cockpit, which is already interactive and ready to go, ready to use. You may use every tile already, or you may dig deeper just to use report underneath this tile. Here you have some information box, which is saying that, for example, your system has been updated lately. This is everything what you have in common when it comes to system updates. Of course, you may also receive information after some clicking here about information and new features which are available in this specific release. But you also, as here and as in further parts of our demo, you are informed about actions that are linked to you. So for example, you are here mentioned, okay, it's about only execution of the process, but sometimes you are mentioned here as a person assigned to execute some task. You have also a feature which is named here discussion. So discussion is the only part of kind of collaboration which is not dependent on a story. So placing comments is related to story, and they stay and are available to see only within a story, or when it comes to data points, comments. These are available to be read across every document which uses the same context and the same model. But if you would like to comment or discuss something which is not referencing especially to some document you use discussions, you may also enter as here. You may enlarge this tile and then play with hierarchies and provide some values. But you may also, as now, go to very specific documents and play around. One mention here, what we are doing here is also changing a template, changing visual view. It is possible in go live, I mean in real life scenario, that most probably you will have a couple of templates already prepared just to use for specific situations. This demo shows us that it is easy to change layout of a template, and for a second thing is organized so it is showing that with use of one connection, I mean one data model for planning, we are able to cope with different requirements. That's why we are changing this template. Of course, it is also showing how you can navigate within the environment, but anyway, you can prepare these templates up front. So currently, we would like to copy our actual version to some private version just to play around with this data without changing official data. So I would like to create my new private forecast 30 version, which is only available to me. And I would like to populate next 3 months. So up to May I have actuals, but right now I would like to use months from March to May and populate these values for June till August. As you can see, these hierarchies are dynamic, and also leaf levels are filled in. This data, this actual data may come from, for example, S4HANA or ECC. Right now I'm copying and pasting data. This is something which allows us to use report to easily populate data for other periods. Of course, there are also automatically populating functions, but this is, let's say, this most simple scenario. What I may do is to adjust these values, and I might adjust these values by a percentage value or by a specific number. So currently I'm adding 30% to operating income, and what's highlighted are all rows have been highlighted and all columns that have been affected by this change. So this 30% change has been distributed according to already existing values to leaf levels. As you can see, as there were no records here, nothing has been added. Only values where there were some existing entries were increased. And here you can see this impact highlight. So also quarter here has been affected, and the whole year 2019 has been affected by this change. I may also, as right now, log some cell just to be sure that it is not changing. So I would like to right now, as now, increase my net revenue without affecting discount level. So this 20 millions, which I increase when it comes to net revenue, will be distributed, but this discount category will be omitted because it's grayed out. It's locked by us. It is also possible for each version, but also for a private version, to track history of any action. So I can, as now, go one step back or couple step backs to see what was the difference before and after my action. So currently I have 79 millions of operating income, but one step back it was 59. So it is possible to revert changes and, let's say, time travel before saving the document, or to simply track changes we have performed. What we are currently doing, we are changing the layouts. As I said before, you may have already prepared layout for different scenarios, but would like to show you some navigation. So we are selecting specific account from the structure and also restricting time and version. What we would like to display is the sales for 3 months according to organization structure, which are entities. Entities here are not company codes, but country and regions. You may also decide up to which level this hierarchy is unfolded by default. As here we are selecting entity hierarchy and say, okay, please unfold to the lowest level. We will try then play with some planning functions like distribution or allocation. So firstly, we will try to distribute value from United States to overseas. So for other sibling category in the same hierarchy. What we can see here is that I would like to distribute 20 millions from the United States and distribute it to overseas. After providing this 20 millions, we have a couple of information helping us to assess what we are doing. So what I'm seeing right now is that I already distributed for 4.4% of the overall figure. After this change, overseas value will be 203 millions. And still I have available amount of this level ready to distribute. As previously, all affected cells are highlighted. You may also use distribution, but not only for the same level, but you may also go one step deeper if there is a hierarchy. So currently we are distributing specifically not for overseas only, but we are distributing this according to for Asia Pacific and Middle East, Asia, Europe, and we are saying okay, that will be split 60% to 40% and not in the ratio that was done by historic entries. You may also use the spreading function where you can distinguish based on weights or based on percentages how you would like to distribute this value from the main root node or from some node. For example, here it is equally distributed for every hierarchy level, but you may also change this without changing the overall sum. So currently I assume as a planning master that our southeast region will perform better than northeast region, therefore there is no reason to keep this equal planning still valid. Therefore, I'm adjusting this, and this will be simply recalculated in real time. What I may do, if I'm sure that my changes are correct and I'm sure it is some kind of reasonable analysis, I would like to most probably publish my private forecast version to public version. So right now, as you can see, this version is available as a private one, so only available to me or to people for which I have disclosed this version. But now I will publish this as a new version, new public version, which will be available for all authorized users. So it is already available as a public version. What we would like to do is going to the second scenario. So we are changing the layout to compare two different plan versions referring to the product. So currently we are planning by entity, but after changing the layout, we would like to compare these versions based on product dimension. We would like to also filter only by specific quarter two, these three months. So June, July, August. And as you can see, there are some filtering options which may be used by a business user to design more sophisticated reports or more sophisticated filters, because there are and or filtering options as a conditions. What we can do now is to add a subtraction, I mean difference between these versions. Everything is unfoldable, so if you apply this subtraction between forecast version, I mean this official forecast and my forecast done as a specific user, this subtraction will be added on all levels within the hierarchy if we wish so. So I would need to then select these two categories and simply add additional column telling okay, subtract these two values. So now we can see that although we haven't changed much, these versions already differ a lot. We may go into details drilling into months. What we may also do is to change this difference as an in-cell chart. So here there is no difference because it was actual data without any changes, but within quarter two we have provided some changes for other months. So there will be already some changes recorded, I mean difference recorded. We may change this difference as currently is a figure. We may make it as an in-cell chart. I mean it's a graphical illustration of the level of difference. So it is easy already to discover where the differences are arising. We may also add some comments here. So this will be data point comments as here, and we would like to add this comment within a column. Therefore, we are adding specific column for a comment. Usually, we may add it as added this in Excel, so a comment to a cell, but here we can also transform this. If we have more than one comment, only the last comment is visible, but after clicking on it, the whole discussion will be available to be tracked. For these comments, there is a limit of character length. I mean, the comment can have less than 1,000 characters, but please do not bother, because you can add multiple comments as within one thread, within one data point. So you should not be bothered about this commenting feature. It's really a lot of place to just to notify someone or comment some value. What's very specific to SAP Analytics Cloud, we have two saving options. So as we can see, this document is not saved yet. We do saving in two forms. So first of all, we may save a document which is saying that we are saving a layout. So this what we just have changed when it comes to the dimensions and filtering. But we also save data separately. As currently, we would like to save document first, so the layout is now saved, and now we are publishing or saving data, so publishing all changes into selected version. As in BW features in SAP, as also here you have easy option to change these descriptions or ID display. It's as usual if you are familiar with SAP landscape. What we would like to do now is to go to the third scenario where we use the same model, but we would like to distribute IT costs which are not assigned to products yet, and distribute them according to gross sales for this product, and distribute them to products as an additional cost, indirect one. It is also showing you that navigation for any changes may be managed by power user or by business user without any specific training. It's very intuitive, and if the model has been built well, there should be no issues with custom report creation or with visibility of data according to specific views. So what we are seeing right now is that we have gross sales. We have gross sales assigned to product group, and for all products we have also some gross sales assigned to vitamins and cough and cold category. But we have also IT expenses which are not assigned to any product. These are simply overhead or in the indirect costs, which we would like to add to product groups just to gain product profitability reporting. To do so, we need to execute so-called allocation, and this allocation mechanism is fairly simple. So Right now we are filtering only to 2019, just to be sure that we are not changing any other data. And we go to oversee how this allocation has been built. There are some scripts which may be written, but there are some scripts as here which may be processed by clicking. So we are saying which value we would like to distribute, to which dimension we would like to distribute, and based on which driver we would like to distribute these values. These are selected from the members of specific dimensions. We may select one or more. As you can see, for products, there have been selected all products. And going back, we still need to execute this allocation in our document. We select specific execution allocation process name. We are telling the system which version, which data version should be used for this process. So currently we are affecting only my version, which is referring to forecast month 6 till 8 to 8. And then we are saying use point of view filtering. That's why we have changed the year restriction for 2019. But we could also apply no filtering, so that would be applied for all data and all data set. And we could also refine filters based on another pop-up tool, pop-up window which would appear. And as you can see, all IT expenses have been moved to all products, and they are already assigned to vitamins category and cough and cold. And if we would unfold this, it also would be assigned to specific products IDs. Then we would like to save this data, publish this data into our version. And we are now moving to the fourth and the final scenario, where we would like to plan sales according to entity structure or organizational structure. For each entity, we have a person responsible assigned in entities attributes. And based on this, the system will recognize to which a specific task will be assigned, which filtering should be assigned, and it will send customized templates just for this input task. So choosing account, we are choosing what we would like to plan, and choosing entity, we are saying what we would like to, or plan by what, or by what we would like to plan. And currently it's entity. And for planning, we also currently we would like to display attribute of this entity, so it's person responsible. We have only 2 entities with person responsible assigned. This is Jane Jones and the user 02. And to these users, system will generate an input template, and a task will be assigned. We are saving this document, and then we are running we are running a wizard which drives us through the planning process. So we are saying, okay, use this model for planning. It is the only model within this story. That's why this is only one line. Use this specific version, so we will plan based on private budget version, and use this distribution based on entity dimension. We will also check this show members only with assignees, and therefore we have only Julia Jones and Harry Brown, which has a login 02. We are sending a request for planning. We also set the due date for May 31st. And after a couple of seconds, we receive, let's say, status dashboard, which is saying what's the status of this overall planning scenario. It is saying, okay, there are 2 involved employees and both tasks are in open state. Let's relog as a Julia Jones and check what she will see when she will log on to the system. Currently I'm logged as me, and now I will become a blonde lady. Okay, hello, I'm Julia Jones. As you can see, she has a totally different welcome screen because most probably she will be involved in other business actions within the company. She has a notification that I have assigned her to the planning scenario, but she may also access the same information according to planning through Calendar. This is let's say a view which I especially like, so you can go through the Gantt view, monthly Gantt view, and then access specific tasks where you can see who is also assigned, what's the progress rate, which documents have been shared. Here, for example, she can provide that, okay, she already completed this in 30% just to give some information that the work is progressing and already, for example, she has collected all necessary data. You can see who is also assigned. For example, Harry Brown, she already started and has completed for 30%, and Harry Brown still hasn't started. And you can also see who is the reviewer and what's the parent process of this task. You can go to the template, planning template. You have also some kind of dashboard showing the progress, but from the assignee perspective. And you can go directly to your page 3 where results are filtered only to your entity, so Europe, Middle East and Asia. She can provide some values here, save it. And by sending this action as a submitting task, she can also place some comment if necessary. If not, it's not required. And going back as me, as owner of this process, I can track, let's say, quick relog. And I am also notified that some of the planning processes have been done and are ready for review. And I can see now who has done some progress. I see that Julia Jones has submitted some data and I can see her comment. When I go from this level to the template, I can see data only provided by her, but that's not an issue because I can also see overall data. And from here I can manage the statuses of specific processes. And as Harry Brown hasn't started yet, I may decide what to do with processes in open state. or in process that are already started but haven't finished yet, and although submitted or rejected. Just for this purpose, I would like to mark every process as accomplished, and this concludes our planning scenario. What I may also do is to publish this version, this private version, as a public one. And going back to our PowerPoint demo, we have also recognized a lot of features regarding planning. Of course, neither this presentation as a demo and neither this nor this PowerPoint presentation cover all topics. There are some additional planning functionalities like planning by dimension members, but here I would like to refer more deeply to functionalities used during our demo. So there are comments. Comments are available only within specific document or within specific model, and the only independent place where you can discuss and which is available not within document is discussion. You may have up to 200 comments per story and up to 4 distinct threads per story, or per page within a story, or 4 distinct threads for a tile on your welcome screen, or tile within a story. Each comment can have up to 1,000 characters, but you may, as said, provide kind of discussions, but in form of comments, not in form of discussion feature. It's not possible to report based on these comments, so there is no specific tables where these comments are stored. You may see them only from these stories, from these documents. And when it comes to discussion possibilities, you may also link the currently viewing stories, so you may link any documents, any report from SAP Analytics Cloud. You may also attach any kind of file. It doesn't have to be SAP Analytics Cloud reports, so any kind of file placed within SAC or from your local computer. From here, if you provide a discussion and you are stating, okay, we need to prepare or plan pricing for product category A, you may also create some process or create task from this point. And when the discussion is over, everything is done, you may also archive this discussion. There are comments also referred as data point comments. So if you create a data point comment within a specific model, within a specific context, you may be able to see this comment if you create another document having the same column and row intersection, the same context for the same key figure. For data point comments, no mentions are available. So for story comments or for tile comments, you may mention using @sign. For example, John, can you please review it? And John will be specifically mentioned and specifically informed that he has been mentioned. And then we have no doubt who are we talking about. Here, this is not available. You may configure the number of data point comments per model on model level. If you will place a comment within a hierarchy, you will see that the comment has been placed. I will cover this in the next slide. And which might be very helpful, system tracks also values which were present when the comment was placed. So it is also tracking a value history when it comes to time when the comment was placed. So data point commenting is not available for live or analytic models, so you have to use planning models, which also force us to use import connection, because there are no planning models based on live connections. You may not use private versions, because if you if you would like to comment something, you also would like to share it, and within private version it's not possible. And you are not able to place comment based on calculation key figure or restricted key figure, but you may use simply another key figure which has been already derived earlier. So here you can see that this limitation about the comment length does not bother us, because we have 1000 characters here, and we can even continue simply posting another comment. As here you can see, there was no value within this cell, and by pasting this comment, which has reply as a text, the value was at the 45 level. Currently it is -30. And if we use this is the usual display, we may also use display comment column, and if we use comment column, only the latest comment will be available, but after clicking we will get the full history available. The second thing worth mentioning is that if we have hierarchy, this is the usual commenting sign, but if we have hierarchy on the lower level, there will be this blank triangle over here stating, okay, if you dig deeper, you will receive definitely some comment over there. There are some workflows. This is what we saw within our last presentation. So we can assign someone to work on some task, but he can also reject it. For example, when the task is badly assigned or someone has already moved to another department. There is a nice feature named calendar highlights, which is tracking tasks assigned to our person and stating or informing us if we are on time or if we are late, and what's the timeline for the next tasks. It is possible to usually plan these tasks by dragging and dropping a specific task within a calendar and extending due dates. You can also plan recurring tasks, and from this calendar level, which we saw, this Gantt calendar level, we can plan only tasks and processes, let's say analytics one, but input tasks have to be created from input task wizard. These are some screens, so these are calendar highlights on the welcome screen, which is available. So I was late with some previous tasks, but I have still a lot of time to complete ZPW task 1. This is the options. These are options for recurring tasks. Unfortunately, we are not able to plan monthly recurring task, and this is a template how the user will receive notification when he or she will be assigned to specific action. This is how this Gantt view looks like when we have more than one process, more than one task assigned to a process. We may drag and drop move this according to our needs when it is inactive, and when we have more completed tasks or subtasks, sub-processes, this progress ratio will be calculated accordingly according to realization level and number of subtasks and level of subtasks. All of these tasks from calendar replaced within SAP Analytics Cloud may be exported as a ICS file, which is applicable for Outlook, Apple, and Google Calendar. So we will not forget, even if we are reluctant to log into our web application to SAP Analytics Cloud. These input tasks are somehow related to workflows. And these input tasks may be created only on private version, non-shared version, and as a result, you are not able to support cell locking based on specific criteria. For example, it is forbidden to change plan data for product A for January and July. And it is also not available to use dynamic cutover dates. For example, every month when we log in, this planning cutover date or actual cutover date will be moved. This is because this private version does not really exist within master data when it comes to asset dimension member, when it comes to master data of version dimension. But there are also different features like dimension-driven planning, which are applicable in this scenario and which may plan based on public version. We may use this responsible user feature, responsible user taken from master data attributes, but here we can only support one single user, not groups. There are also other features that we can, let's say, use it as a similar feature or as a workaround as you wish. And this dimension, in this case, when it comes to input task and responsible person, needs to be a public one because we need to distinguish dimensions within SAP Analytical Clouds, within SAP Analytical Clouds between public version and public dimension and private dimension. Private dimension is the dimension which you use only within your model, and public dimension is globally or generally used dimension across reporting system, which will be the most in most cases, for example, the company code or cost center dimension and so on. So how does it look like? We sell this within our demo, but we may also drive some discussion for this input task scenario. We may track the progress. And I believe that concludes discussion when it comes to SAP Analytics Cloud here, when it comes to planning, because we are already out of time. What I may do, I highly encourage you to contact us when it comes to planning scenarios within SAP Analytics Cloud. We have spent a lot of time for testing these functionalities. We have experience when it comes to implementation scenarios or modeling data using these planning features. So I encourage you to contact you not only for these planning actions, but also for analytical actions and also for predictions or any kind of BW or analytical requirements when it comes to SAP solutions. And I would like you to invite for the future webinars also. Thank you very much.
Thank you.